math there, and I was like, did he pull out a calculator for that one? Because we always talk about it. It's like caster math. It's like you have to have a fat calculator sitting next to you just to double check you. But I'm gonna trust you on that one, Goj, that they are unofficially holding some of the highest scoring that we've seen. But it is time. Map number 2 is underway. Friendly reminder here today in the customs, we have custom trios, 27 teams that are going to be duking it out for $25,000 in the Shamrock Showdown. We are officially on map number 2. If you missed map number 1, you're just tuning in. Joewo, Redman, and Skullface walked away with the map win, albeit they only had 13 eliminations, 26-point game. Goj called to it, exclamation point leaderboard, find that kind of event page and you can kind of keep track with that. But we have Testy, Ebates, and DJ Moss on your screen. We talked about them a little bit in the pre-show. Testy, a really solid content creator that just knows the grind, typically streams maybe 2 to 3 times during a day. Shows off his fitness grinds on stream and also streams a lot of Call of Duty. Picked up the dynamic duo of Ebates and DJ Moss, and you can see the strategy here. They're heading over to Surf Bay.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think this is a trio that could do certainly very, very well. I think they're going to play a fairly hyper-tactical game and going to go for some of those higher placement spots. They're very good at doing that, especially in customs. DJ and Ebates just competed in tournament yesterday. I believe got top 5, so a strong performance from the duo. Adding in Testy will be a great add. You had mentioned Testy. I got to give Testy a shout. I think he's been live for like well over 1,000 days in a row, live streaming on Twitch and every other platform there is. So shout out to Testy for being an absolute Twitch grinder, but also having an incredible community. Gives him a lot of love and support. So shout out to the squad. But see DJ dropping that cluster mine, because that is one of our few banned items, just to make sure that we try to keep it as fair as possible. And we'll keep swinging over to showcase some other teams in the early stages of looting across the map. This is a very important stage, I will say, Tiff. If you can set up your game well by finding great loot early, getting your loadout or otherwise, all the equipment you need, it could be make or breaking your entire event, theoretically.
I mean, that's exactly what it is. I mean, you take Wars. I believe it was Prodigy who was kind of, or maybe Primza, that was the last elimination in map number 1. So they finished 2nd overall. Very great start for them. But I mean, if you're going to land inside the city, we know there's going to be a highly contested area. So you have to maneuver throughout nearby buildings, try to find a good ground loot weapon, and get yourself... Wait, hey, yo, Noobs, did you get a haircut, my mans?
Looking clean, my man.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Looking clean on that knock and finish as well. Looks like that was going to be on to IQ, who is an absolute demon, but Noobs over here at Observatory, one of the favored drops that we would likely see for some teams, gets tagged up from the side. Information's going out. Tommy to have his back right there, so that's going to be some good positioning.
Yeah, TBE, I am not surprised in the slightest that they dropped Observatory and are playing fairly aggressive. They want kills early. This is what they do, and they find a lot of success with it. This is one of the best regain teams out there. Even if they lose 1 or 2 in the process, they might win their gulags. We look at Noobs going down. This is Vortex. There's a couple different teams here. Nick Cool being eliminated. That's on the same team as IQ. Vortex is the squad I had mentioned before with Savvy Ultras and Blades. So team to watch out for. But it looks like a couple teams in Observatory, and the team that comes out on top in Observatory are going to be reaping most, if not all, of the benefits.
Ooh, flank taken on Sean J in the gulag. Shots being peppered from afar. Looks like Clutch Belk is down back on Al Mazrah. Nadia still full alive and well, and a beautifully done. Although the initial shots looked in favor of Sean J, flanked was able to answer back and find themselves joining the team back onto Al Mazrah. Ken's Rosie, though, wanted to check in with her. They are out in the marshlands, and this area of the map and this building in particular is one of my favorites, or that I always find myself rotating into, and it's very, very tough. If the circle ever starts to pull this way and you sit and hold in this area, you can essentially pick off all of the people trying to swim across to this area.
Yeah, exactly. It's a great comms. Look, if you're playing pubs, I believe these rivers are flooded green for St. Patrick's Day. So we don't have it in customs, unfortunately. Would have loved to see it, but you can still wrap and rotate through the water fairly well. It's very hard to see people, but if you have some high ground, you can sometimes catch some of the swimmers and take them out before they get to you. Going over to Australian team here, Chrissy and I believe Limax, also from Australia. Destroy, you've got his immaculate comms as always. Look, if I say this every single time I cast over Destroy, because I think it's worth mentioning, Destroy is the first kind of like elite level Warzone player I played with. I played in a tournament with him a long time ago, and he was the one that really showcased what it means to be an elite level Warzone player. The ability that he had to go from full speed, full aggressive fly across the map to the most patient player I've ever seen, and doing that in a blink of an eye is what makes a player so well. Chrissy's gonna find one by playing patient and playing the angles, but something to keep an eye out for is like when to play aggressive, when to push, which would be right now. You see Destroy swing it out across the map to go clean up some of these eliminations when they have the player advantage, and then sometimes you're gonna play really, really patient.
I mean, she's already got the knock onto Wars. I believe they doubled down and got a knock onto Primza. So they just need to close the distance and find the last standing member and deny them the chance to get that res and reset. And I mean, you called it out, right? We talk about the vibes. I think Chrissy, didn't she just recently move to Canada? I think she moved completely out of Australia, wanted to take her lifestyle over to North America. If she's going to be competing a lot, we talk about the pings that they have to kind of, when you're competing on North American servers, you're typically suffering from a ping differential, so you want to kind of close that. Plus, I heard Canada's actually pretty freaking awesome. I've never actually been, but a lot of creators seem to be moving out that way. But let's check in with Moonride. They seem to be kind of regaining very nicely. They're all three up, gathering some money, hitting the buy stations, and they've got a multitude of vehicles here. Now, we've seen some intense vehicle strategies come out in all of the customs that we have witnessed, Goj, and we've seen people go 3 Berthas deep, but they are doing just that.
Yeah, it's a great rotational strategy, especially for some of the open spots between POIs. Can certainly get melted out of those vehicles. They're not impenetrable, but still a great option. You got Robstar on your screen. Looks like they've at least they've lost one, unfortunately. But Rob and Nate still alive. I think Sean had lost her gulag to flanked and then didn't make it back in somehow. But these two on your screen can certainly carry the weight of map number 2, especially if they play smart here in the city. They are going to lose their high ground and go for a fight. I don't mind. See what they're able to do with this fight. They're going to go ahead and just push the equation.
Should be to my left.
He probably ran out already.
Oh, this is tough.
You might have went all the way up.
There's a lot of places to hide in the city here, Tiff.
I mean, that's what I'm thinking, especially this building in particular. There's elevators, and they're like, you hear the comms come in, they might have went up. Once you go up, there's a couple rooftops that you can kind of navigate through, and that would be really atrocious. Yeah, you could take these zip lines to kind of check, but the moment you get to the top, if someone's standing at the top of a zip line for you, okay, good. They still have one more on this side, and you just have to play it safe. I mean, you do have a self-res available to you, but you're not going to have Nate at your side going up to the very, very top. But so far, it is kind of clear.
He's on the left.
Ooh.
On the left bit here.
Good call-outs.
Luckily, they were able to make it back up to high ground uncontested. They're in Al Mazrah City very early. I mean, we're still talking. Loadout hasn't even dropped yet, right? Like we're still in the first circle. 30 seconds left on that. Loadout will be dropping soon, but they're able to kind of hang out and play around in the city as much as they're able to. Even with just 2 players, they're playing fairly aggressive. Likely they haven't been to the gulag yet.
I'm not with you.
He's getting quite a sizable amount of pings, but not sure Rob's going to be able to help too much from this distance.
Ooh, love that. We just need to be consistent. Sure, Wars and them are already out, and they're spectating Shifty, Fuzzin, and Sage. What a team, bro. Shifty is an absolute menace when it comes to Call of Duty and Warzone in general, but more in particular, the 2v2s. I feel like I always see Shifty pop off in 2v2s, and Sage is going to get absolutely his wings cut off, and I'm going to try to hit the self-res, but an incoming nade is going to deny any chance of that. Now back on over to Robstar and Nate, peppered from afar, so they're going to have to rethink their rotational strategy here in the city.
Yeah, I see that. You get you confirmed?
I've been airstriked.
Non-stop combat, looking for a decent map here.
Now, bro.
Again, this is 6 maps. You can lose your lowest. So the lowest score that you score in 6 maps will not count towards your total. So best 5 out of 6, however you want to phrase it. This could be that map. I'm not sure. They did pretty well last map, at least from a placement side of things. I believe they got 8 overall, so got into the top 10, and that multiplier that comes with it.
It's not me,
Not sure how many limbs they've finished with.
Top high rise.
Way up there. That's gonna be a tough fight to win. And speaking of a fight you could win, wow, that's a quick team wipe there on Destroy and Chrissy. We were gassing them up before, but they're gonna be out of map number 2 fairly early. 22 squads still left and fully eliminated by Nick Cool.
Okay, yo, let me go on myself. If I die,
Sorry, this is not Nickel. This is actually Jesus, Panda, and Goat Clan. This is our 2 Mexico players plus Jesus, who is an Italian demon. The dude is what I will call a competition fiend. And what I mean by that is, if this dude is willing to travel across the entire globe for competition. Went to a $5,000 LAN for, I believe, a Resurgence tournament a while back, and actually played with, I believe, this squad. And I think they won, actually, now that I think about it. So certainly a team that could do really well today, and they love competing, and they're very good at it.
I mean, my man's is literally 4 inches away from his monitor, completely locked and loaded, ready to go. And Chrissy facing Timmy Toucans in the Gulag. Timmy Toucans, big content creator here, able to grab a captain spot. And I actually really like the positioning that Chrissy's kind of opening to take, but she is going to get kind of peppered.
This is make or break, Steph. Other 2 players in her squad are done and dusted. She's got to play slow here. If she loses this, they are going to be actually fully eliminated from map number 2, and this will most likely be their chalked game. She can win, though. It's good tags. Low on plates. Seeing on the ground, and we're running out of time. I have to play for the flag. U90 in hand, but gets caught on the rotate. Nice win. We're going to see it from Timmy's perspective. Good shots, and he did have plate advantage. Plays the aggressor spot and wins it. Very well done from Timmy. He's coming right back into the mix.
Yep, joining the team. Runaway statue. You and I were talking about him prior to this tournament, and we were just like, this is that guy from TikTok that's always like, hey guys, what's up? And then proceeds to show us the gnarliest clip. It's like in his intro videos, so happy, so cool, calm, collected. And then like in the actual clips, super locked in. But Ken's Rosie and her team, Empathy, Trick, and Braxton on your screen. They have a team in front of them, and it seems they're tracking a bounty on Runaway statue, my mans.
Oh, here we go. We'll see what he's able to do.
Gonna be on TikTok later.
That could be, especially if he wins it. This is gonna be a fun one. It looks like they're able to rotate for free. These are those moments that you kind of collectively hold your breath as you cross the street. It's almost like, I don't know if you ever did this, Tiff. A lot of my friends and family would hold our breaths when we go through tunnels. In Al Mazrah, yeah. In Al Mazrah, you hold your breath when you're crossing large streets like that, because who knows what could happen. A team could collectively throw down their hemlock fire on you, and you die before you can blink. Certainly, if you hold your breath, maybe you have better luck. I don't know. It's the luck of the Irish. It's Shamrock Showdown. Come on. Pray for all the luck you can in the RNG gods of COD.
I mean, that's what we're praying. I mean, she's kitted out. She's got her MP5. She's got her hemlock. So, I mean, that's exactly what you want to have. You're feeling confident. They have 2 self-reses, Empathy and Ken's, and check in with Primrose, OP marked and shaded step. I mean, they look to be in good standings. Maybe need some armor plate re-ups and grab some self-reses, but grabbing a Bertha, getting shot. This is not where you want it to be. And next thing you know, Gulag. I feel like that was the quickest kind of navigational. I was the tippy top on the roller coaster, and it just went all downhill from there. So the luck of the Irish was not with that vehicle.
Yeah, well, it looks like Nate's gonna be on the other side. So this would be Sean Jay's team that we were spectating earlier. Seemingly ran into some trouble in Al Mazrah City, which makes a lot of sense because there's a lot of teams vying for that POI. Especially with the verticality that you can cover. Nate with the wall bang through the box to grab the elimination. See ya, Prim. Honestly, Prim's perspective, I think it was just kind of a stream lag from her side of things. That's how I feel like it happens to me every single time I play Al Mazrah, Tiff. I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm traveling along. Boom, in the Gulag. In the blink of an eye. I'm like, what just happened? Especially against teams like this.
All of a sudden, next thing you know, you got a movement menace in your lobby, and you're just like trying to survive the Gulag, and your next thing you know, you're full dead, but Sparrow's on your screen. One member of the team, JC Baby, also in the Gulag, and Almighty TJ full dead. Shots going out. Also has the P90, which when we saw it the first time in the Gulag kind of just a couple rounds ago. Going up against Scummin, though. Not a person that I would want to go up against. I'm not going to lie, but utility already being used and able to turn it around in the nastiest of head peeks. Scummin's not going to feel good about that one.
That's the thing. When you play this game enough, you know the head peeks that you're going to be taking in the Gulag. Biffle loses his Gulag to JC, baby. You don't see that every day on main stage. Oh,
and that was a must win.
Yeah.
Must win for JC, baby, because we just... Man, well,
I can check for you either.
Look, that's some tough gulags there. Learn your head peeks, get good. No, I don't know. But I was just thinking about the P90 and the way I was listening to it. That thing sounds like it's shooting marshmallows, no lie.
Yeah, especially from that range. And I think Sparrows did a great job of kind of holding that lane, that line of sight, that LOS you've been talking about, because he got the early shot, so he knew he had plate advantage and health advantage over Scummin, and as long as he hit the same amount of bullets as Scum, he should win that. So kind of full commits and does come out on top. I think Biffle maybe full Joewo committed a bit too hard, playing aggressive over on JC and lost because of it. But as we swapped over to what I believe could be the most aggressive comms of any trio, I'd love to do like a quick listen in. I think production's ready for this, but if not, we'll just kind of be quiet and see if we can turn it up. Listen into this team and see what they're talking about and where they want to go, because they've got some pretty aggressive comms. It'll be fun to listen into some of their strats.
Hella endgame here, okay? We're not like...
we'll get our kills, bro. Eventually, we do.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, I think 5 is more than enough for now. I think we're chilling with 5.
All right, zone pulled.
Yeah, see, it's gonna be like the end of.
You gotta get towards like. Wait, maybe. I heard you. Yo, we should. Well, advance. What the fuck?
That's fine then.
Where's
I
the
don't think
black side at?
this isn't the black side, so it's gotta be like.
It must be
far.
village or something.
You can hear that advance from far.
So should we just go across the bridge now and make it to Marsh?
I think so, bro. Before people are already set up. I think it's already too late.
If we don't make it, or unless we go, or
We
we
have
can
to
go
anyways,
here. We can get edge zone like there and then like swim across if we have to, but we might just get held.
Construction's in the zone though too, and that's like a hot spot.
All right, we can hold
like,
that.
That's
We can go.
overlooking where we're at. Where are we going?
We just need an IGO. We just need to do something.
Someone's floating. Someone's floating.
Yeah. Hold up. We might be able to beam this idiot.
No. There's spawn protection. Until like you're really low.
I'm just sticking with Tekka, bro. Let's just play together. Let's play together. But you're way too far.
You have a streak? He's up top. Well, he's trying to land. What the fuck is he
He's trying
doing?
to land. I don't know.
I do have.
I'm gonna laser this kid. He's low enough. I'm killing him. Hey, he's one shot. Dead.
Nice, good job. Let's go. Massive.
Nice job. That's Breadman or
teammates
something.
might be here.
That's Breadman.
It might be around here, bro.
Yeah, I know.
Alright, let's get control of this shit. Come on.
Okay.
Smoke me out if I get shot.
Where are we going? Construction?
Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm not smoking
Okay,
out.
yo, they just bought back on March by.
That's where they are then.
I think we work all the way around construction and try to work towards the gas station in Marsh.
We can be IGL, Chuck. Just call something. I'm down.
I think this is good. I think this is good here.
This is a good area. This is a good area. This is where Shifty and them
it's gonna have to move again, and it's not gonna be here, bro. It moves in 2 minutes, and people like let's just try to work the.
Truck.
Get ready.
Get ready. They're gonna push. They're gonna pull in on.
Yeah, I'm trying to get high. I'm trying to get high.
Yeah, they're gonna come in. Is there a ladder up here or anything?
Lower.
They're low on them.
They're going second.
Watch. I'll watch our stairs. There's a ladder on me.
Where's the ladder though? I don't know.
There's a ladder on me. I got it. There's a ladder on me.
Oh, there's a staircase here, Dilly. Can they get up here? I don't even know.
I
love hearing this team's comms. Like it's so aggressive. They're talking about every option, but it's pretty clean. Like it's easy to understand, and they're taking the right decision-making points of, hey, we need to rotate. It's not going to be here. It's not going to be here. We got to get to the next spot. Very clean comms coming from this trio, which is completely expected, just given their experience in multiplayer and otherwise.
Yeah, because I mean, I feel like some teams can over-communicate where they're just talking to talk, but there is nothing of value. You could hear in the comms, it's like, hey, I've got the ladder, I've got the staircase, hey, they could come up this way. But they were talking before that team kind of pulled up on them in the vehicle about their rotational approach. They still want to hit a buy station. They were looking to potentially rotate into the marshlands and hit the buy station in particularly there. But then that team rolled up and you could just immediately tell the change. And they had also kind of called out which teams would likely be in those POIs based upon the playstyles that they have witnessed. Shifty and Co. being one of them, now on your screen from Fuzzin's POV. So that's kind of the hard part. They're over in Alshreen Pass still. They're looking to make a play for getting into the next zone. They're just on the outskirts undergoing a complete mortar strike. It's really not that big of a deal. Let's see what they're going to buy from the buy station. A lot of people making sure they've got utility. Was just short on plates, so kind of restocking up. Not bad overall.
This is one of my teams to watch. I didn't get a chance to highlight them as much as I wish I could have. Shifty and Sage both inside the top 10 on Al Mazrah. They've been tearing it up in the 2v2s. Obviously very strong in customs as well. Oftentimes you'll see Shifty, Sage, Hisoka even, all three of those three players combined, but Shifty and Hisoka in particular, both part of Team Diverge. So a fun kind of combo back and forth, but I had a chance to meet Sage in person now a number of times at some of in-person Warzone events we've seen, and honestly one of the nicest guys there is, and really excited to see him continue to excel in the scene. Had a chance to hang out with his family even after he won the Buy Lobby podcast lane we did at Comic-Con. They were like buying tequila shots for everybody at the bar. They were so excited about his win. It was just a great support system he has, and it's really been cool to hear his story. So hoping for the best here, and we love Fuzzin as well, one of our German players. I've been watching Fuzzin play since early Verdansk days, and certainly a high-level competitor. Got second in the 50k Ashika tournament that happened not too long ago as well, right behind FIFA Kill and Juki. So shout out to Fuzzin.
Hey, yo, I heard really good things about that. And it's kind of fun to see a lot of these custom tournaments start coming back into the realm of things. Now, granted, this is the first major one here for Warzone 2.0 in Al Mazrah, and I feel like we're kind of just getting back to the swing of things. I remember back in the early days, kind of right when the pandemic kicked off, I just feel like there was a gnarly Warzone tournament every week, every month that people had to look forward to. And now I feel like we just need to reinvigorate a lot of that competitive passion, and what a great way to start here with the Shamrock Showdown. If you're just joining us, we are on map number 2, Joewo FIFA. Skullface took home the victory in map number 1. Now, granted, check in with exclamation point leaderboard. You can keep score with the standings there. This is a self-submit scoring tournament, so it may take us a little bit to get that information here on stream.
Yeah, we'll maybe walk through the leaderboard as we see it in just a moment, but first let's see what this fight's going. And that's a great knock from Blade with the PA. Precision airstrike. Finds one, is going to go try to clean it up, and is able to do just that. That's Wiz on the other side, one of the custom demon squads we talked about. Oki is going to be probably around the corner. There he is, and gets slammed out of nowhere. I'm not sure what happened there, if Oki was looking at something else, but Lockman sub at that range usually doesn't win those fights, and Blade made it look easy. These guys are moving.
I mean, that's what I think is one of the things that can be the key differences and make or break a player, right? In a game where they start changing the movement up a little bit, like if you can easily adapt and just take it into granted, like, and make sure that you excel. And especially on Al Mazrah, I've noticed that people look for specific jump spots that they can find in buildings. We saw it happen a lot back on Caldera, back on Verdansk, but here in particular with a lot of the buildings, I feel like people want to navigate them the most efficient way. You heard in Mutex's comms, it was talking about the ladders, talking about knowing where the stairs are, knowing how you can approach a POI or a building that you may be laying siege to for another team in the most effective way possible. There's a buyback now just to the left of Blade and Co. They're smoking out their rotation here in the open. They've got to get to the next zone. They've got about a minute left before they're really needing to be there, but just really doing this a strong way. Nades going in. I think there's a team inside, so good opening damage if that is a reason to have someone in there.
Yeah, and I gotta say too, like we turned down the game a little bit. I certainly don't speak language they're speaking right now, but I know the history of this trio and how well they can communicate. Their comms are immaculate from what I can tell, and the way they're rotating, the way they're playing together is a thing of art. This is the reason they won the EU World Series of Warzone, right? They did so well together, and then of course we saw Blade actually win the solo YOLO as well. So individual skill as well as team skill, certainly a trio to watch out for, even on the higher ping. They can succeed in a lot of different ways, and so far so good here in map number 2. Quick note looking at the leaderboard, we mentioned our winners from last time, and we'll keep an eye out on the action here, but it was FIFA Kill Squad at the very top of that leaderboard. Joewo Squad actually in 3rd overall. You can check it out yourself, exclamation point leaderboard. War Squad, who we saw eliminated very early in map 2, they actually had 28 points in map 1, so certainly another squad to watch out for. And if map 2 is their chalk game, they got to stay consistent.
That's what you need to do, honestly. If you're getting at least 20 plus points north of that, I feel like it's a really solid game for you because you start compiling that. But look at all the players in the air ahead of them. They're going to double down and look at the players that are kind of nearby in the water, which honestly, the water rotation strategy could also be really good. But Blade is found out, forced to utilize some of the smoke grenades, has one more in pocket thus far. And you can really use that to reposition and armor up at the same time. But you've got to keep aware of the teams that could potentially be on the high ground. So sometimes doubling back towards zone, kind of in a negative rotation, and going up on the high ground is the better strategy for your long game. Because you can think of maybe, how do I survive? How do I survive this engagement? How do I survive this rotation? But at this point in the game, with 11 squads remaining and you're kind of just waiting towards getting into that final circle, how do you win? Where is the winning position?
100%. This is the time where we all collectively lean forward and get ready. It's about to get crazy. 22 players left in the 6th circle as it's coming to a close. Got some smokes and counter UAVs going up into the air, but they're going to cover all of their advances. As long as nobody is using that thermal, they should be fine on these rotates. Going to get to some of this half-wall cover. Could theoretically use the billboard as well. One out in the open, looks for the shots. Blade finds one. No problem at all. That's a great hold on the cross. Cluster it as well and make sure that teammates can't go loot or otherwise. There's going to be a resource battle at the end. Does get his knock. That's Intex on the other side. So Mutex's squad seemingly probably in that direction. This is a great circle for them. They've got this river to play around. This is going to be honestly a shooting, you know, fish in a barrel, Tiff. Everybody's going to be the fish, though, because you have to kind of play these outside rings looking down at the river, try to find teams across the river, and then it's going to be a mad dash for the final fight. This is going to be nuts with 6 teams left.
One of the cheekiest shots I've seen, able to grab another down. So that's going to be on Jesus. So a lot of teams kind of compiling in the area. You're right. Talk about the water. The water rotations are very viable, and people will essentially be popping out of them, which honestly, if you have the high ground like Blade and Co., they're able to just kind of shimmy their way in. Still one vehicle, but this is what I was talking about. If you're going to be last man standing, Exact turning into the actual merman that he is looking like here in Al Mazrah, coming back on to Moonride and Co., they look to be having the last member, and we are in an all-out brawl with the bushes and the vehicles trying to withstand, and just like that, by Goat Clamp, sea of 4 squads remaining.
Crazy. You got fish in a barrel, literally with Exact, you know, right in and out in the river. You got Vortex's squad on the far side, or Savvy Ultra up on the side with Blade hanging out on the top edge on the other side of this river on this half wall, essentially. You've got Moonride still alive with one other player on their team. This is going to be an all-out brawl. Looks like potentially we've seen Savvy Ultra's team lose at least one. Who's getting involved? It's now 3 teams left, 4 players. So now it's all up to solos and this duo. A player advantage on their side. We know what happens usually when you have the advantage. Only 1 elimination on the side of Moonride, but no telling how many their team has here, Tiff. As the zone kind of relocates out of the river, you can only expect to see Exact fall here in a moment, especially if Moonride knows that they're there. Should have hold.
Oh, but he checked the wrong side. He checked the wrong side, bro. Exact probably came out of the water behind him. Now P1 Boo in a 1v1v1. Now a 1v1 situation, and just like that, they are victorious. You can see...
I love the celebration, Tiff. I can't tell what he's saying. I'm sure it's exciting. Great plays from everybody at the end. But, hey, Boo, very well done. P1 Boo.
Clip me. If the sniper can one-shot the people, I have 95 points, 45.
I got about half of that. I'm down. Whatever he's saying, I'm in. I'm locked in. I'm here for it. I will say, I think Moonride is one of the only players that he's actually still using a sniper rifle. Not able to use the Signal 50, electing to use one of the other snipers. Didn't get a chance to see which one it was. But I think he said something about how he was the best sniper ever or something like that in customs. Their team grabs the victory, and